All right, we're live.
Let's get it.
Okay, so I've come with a tentative plan today.
I love it.
We'll see if it works. We'll see if it works. I don't know. We normally just kind of freestyle, but I brought some topics. I have a Patreon page, and I've been ranting and posting all kinds of stuff. But I've been logging my old workouts and then talking about programming, talking about CrossFit, talking about methodology, talking about training, whatever it is, stuff that I've learned. So I copied and pasted a bunch of my posts here so we can talk about maybe a few of them.
Is Patreon interactive?
It's as interactive as the person wants it to be. So I've been posting every day, and I've been interacting with, like, people ask questions, and I'll make another post the next day about that question. And I wanted this to be like an extension of that. So I can answer, I have a few questions from the page, and I wanted to answer them and hopefully draw people to that page to ask more questions.
Perfect.
So that we can talk about more questions. Yes. I think that'll be like hopefully a cyclical thing that'll grow over time.
I like that a lot. I guess, because I'm unfamiliar with how Patreon works.
I only see it because I'm on YouTube all the time. Yeah. And people that are on YouTube have Patreon pages for people to support what they do on YouTube.
Right.
So, like, if you just make YouTube videos and they're free,
yeah,
they have a Patreon page that they link to that people can go for more information or contact with the person, and they can pay for whatever.
Is the contact like they get to direct message you, or they just get to like comment on a post?
Yeah, they have both of those.
Oh, damn.
Yeah. And there's like a chat option. I haven't set it up yet, but like there's like a community chat option. Nice. I'll set that up eventually, and we'll get that going too. But it's actually pretty cool. You should check it out. But I'm saying you guys should check it out.
Right.
But there's a ton of stuff on there. I've been posting for 4 or 5 months now, so got a lot of good info on there.
That's awesome.
Let's see.
What was the most recent one? Was it the rest one?
The most recent one?
Yeah.
Oops. Sorry. The one today, I shared a quote today that I liked. There was the one about rest, which was yesterday.
Yes.
But so I've been posting workouts every day. So like a workout of the day every day. So if you want to come in there and just like see, like, on main site, just post a workout every day. But they used to post, whatever, something that's interesting, like a tidbit of information. So now I'll post workout every day, and it's from my old logbooks. Like right now I'm through the 2010 one.
Okay.
So I'm going through here. Snapshot, type it up, talk about a little bit of the pieces, talk about a little bit of the workouts, like what I was thinking, why I did this, how it relates to now, and then share it. And then people have questions, or like if it like sparks some sort of thought in my head, I'll just rant about it and then go on my way. It's actually pretty fun. Dude, I really enjoy it. I do it in the morning and in the evening. So I'm on the page often. Like when the kids aren't up.
Yeah.
And then when they're after they go to bed.
Yeah.
If they go to bed. Sometimes they don't go to bed. Man,
dude,
last night was rough.
Yeah, no, I hear you.
But
it sounded like it.
Yeah, but all right.
She was just up crying or something.
She didn't go to bed till 3:45. I checked my phone and I went to bed.
Oh no!
And she got up at 7. She's crying. We're like, she's teething.
Oh.
She's hungry. Oh. And she's like in between phase of like in the sleep sack, not in the sleep sack. We tried without it. It didn't work. So yeah, doing what I can to survive.
I hear that.
You know how it is.
Are you still training well during those times? Like, is that
today was supposed to be a rest day? I came in and I was very motivated, so I worked out. And it's like some days are like that, or you feel good and just take advantage of it and move. I didn't let myself go hard at it. I just worked out. Like I just worked out. Like I wanted to move around.
Just move.
Yeah. But I gradually increased the intensity. The last like 6 minutes were hard. So it's just like a slow, gradual build up where it's like super easy in the beginning and you just kind of build up, hard 6 minutes at the end and you're done. So something like that. It's fun.
I did that yesterday with the fit class, but I just made it harder.
Yeah.
And the first 14 minutes were very easy. The last 6 were very, very hard.
Yeah.
So
some days that's what you need.
Yeah.
But like, I talk about intensity all the time. It's like, well, sometimes you gotta warm up.
Right.
To get to that intensity. And then as long as you're pushing the intensity for a period of time, I think you can make a lot of progress. That's where you can make progress.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's like, doesn't have to be like, you don't have to be like all in like a games athlete.
Right.
You can just have that, okay, here's my 3 minutes of my workout where I'm going to really floor myself or whatever at the end kind of thing. Like Like it can be there. It doesn't have to be there
I think you
from the
need to know that. I
beginning.
think people need to hear you say that. I think they need to hear the coaches say that because they've probably never heard it. And if they've never heard it, it's not internalized and they're not going to say it to themselves and they're not going to be able to reproduce it. And just that little statement is like rings in your head a little bit, you know?
Okay, so here's makes me think of this. We wanted to do a workout of the week every week.
Yeah.
So this I think is a perfect segue into our workout of the week, which is the workout you did, the class workout you did the other day.
Yeah.
I did the previous week. So I always do the previous week. If the workout is something that I like, I give it to the class the following week so that it's been tested. I know what's coming. We can give the coaches can give notes. Half the coaches have done it with me. So it's kind of like a whole
Yeah.
unit, right?
Right.
So the workout of the week, workout from the class just on Wednesday, was every 3 minutes. It was a death by. So every 3 minutes, you would do 12 cows on the bike for a bike erg, 10 for the ladies. So 12 cows, 12 kettlebell swings, 12 push-ups, 10 for ladies. At the 3 minute mark, you would do it again, but you would add one on the bike. You would add two on the kettlebell swings. You would add three on the push-ups. Next 3 minutes, you add one more on the bike, two more on the swings, three more on the push-ups. So it just gradually increases over time. 27-minute max cap, but I don't think anybody made it into the last round. Most people were in the 15 to 21-minute range, and there's one round in that workout where you have to decide that you really want to push it to get to the next round. So it's a little bit of fun. Like you can kind of first round's warm up. We tested our deadlift out in the previous strength portion before that workout, so you could kind of roll right into it. So it's like, all right, bike, couple kettlebell swings, couple push-ups, catch your breath, breathe a little bit, and then the rounds just gradually get harder over time. I thought it was a lot of fun. I did it. It was really, really good.
It's really fun. It's really visually stimulating too when you're participating in the class when the 20 bikes are lined up beside each other
Mm-hmm.
and it's 3, 2, 1, go. And then you bike. Some people get off before you. Some you get off before some people. You get to the kettlebell swings. You know, however, like you get like 2 rounds into the workout and your sort of progressive advancement through the stages of each round, they start to look drastically different. And you're looking around and you're seeing, and then it starts to get a little louder. People breathing a little harder,
Mm-hmm.
like you're starting to hear a little more effort, you know, sort of be exerted. And then you're 10, what was I? I was 12 minutes into the workout thinking, what did I get myself into with this one? Like, because by that time, you knew if you wanted to go, if you wanted to make this let's say first, a good workout for you, you knew what it was going to cost at that point. Then, if you wanted to play the game of, I want to win this workout in my class, you started looking around, you're like, all right, I think I know what this is going to cost too. And then that one started getting in your mind too.
Mm-hmm.
And then the third one was the motivation to keep the intensity up because you couldn't do this workout like you did 24.3. There's the opposite sort of strategy in my mind. Do you think that's accurate? The last part about the
The pacing
the
strategy.
pacing strategy, because
I don't know. Everybody tried to pace 24.3, and it didn't work out for anybody.
it didn't work out
Like
for me.
anybody. Yeah.
It
Yeah.
messed me up.
Yeah. It
So
was hard. But yeah, I do like being in the class, having 20 people in the class. It is a lot of fun. It is a lot of fun. You're right. Like there's a motivation side to that where that's why I tell people like just show up to the gym because like
right,
the motivation will come when you're around 10 other people that are your peers that you may or may not be competing with, but either
yeah,
way, you're going to want to perform to your best ability.
right.
So
So what's
it's
the
different. It's just
brilliance?
different than a regular gym. It's just different than a regular gym.
What's some of the brilliance of planning a death by workout for all of us to do?
I mean, it's scalable. It's easily scalable for one. So like the best athletes will get into round like the higher rounds,
Yeah.
and everybody will still have that one round that they'll have to go there if they want to make the next round.
Well, oh yeah,
So like yeah, you're at your limit. Everybody's at their limit at some point during that workout, and it might be 15 minutes and it might be 27 minutes, but you're at your limit at some point, which is cool, and it's cool to see it's cool to track. I think that's another one that you can like test and retest
Yeah.
and really see a difference. Like if you make it into the next round, you're like, man, I really am able to, be able to push a little bit more than I did 3 months ago or 6 months ago or
Yeah.
whenever you retest. So it's a good retest workout. Death wise, I just like because it does like ramp up, and it's not like a regular workout like the 24.3 where you ramp up and then you just like fall off a cliff over time. It's like you build up over time and then it really hits a peak at the end, which I
Right.
think is a little bit. I like to work out that way. I think the best athletes, like CrossFit athletes in the world, work out that way.
Yeah.
I don't think they work out like they don't floor it and then crash and burn.
Right.
Like they'll hit it hard and then they'll settle in and then they'll finish strong again. So like they have that kick at the end, and it's really good to train that kick at the end of your workout. Even if you're just an average everyday person just training to train, like
Yeah.
just training to be better. It's like you need to practice changing gears. Like you need to practice getting into another gear. Like
Yeah.
you on the last round, I look over on the bike, there's
Yeah.
like drool and spit
I
coming
was
out.
dying.
Yeah,
Dude, I got
full Dan
to,
Bailey mode.
yeah, and I fully committed to getting to the round that I should have got to.
Yeah.
Like,
And you know in your head where you need to be. Like Steve was telling me after
yeah.
the workout, he's like, I got to that round and he's like, I had like a minute left and I knew I could finish the push ups and I really had to push to get there because I knew
Right.
I could.
Yes.
And it's like you have that little goal inside of the workout. So like
Yeah.
there's a goal inside of the goal, and it's pretty cool format. I just love the format. I think it's fun.
Yeah. Yeah.
Creative.
There's so many things in the last, statement that you just made that are good motivators for me. I'm always thinking inside in, outside of the gym. I'm always thinking, okay, why do I have the mental capacity to push myself to get to the next round uh, on Monday or Wednesday? When was this workout? Was it last week?
Wednesday, I think. No, it was 2 days ago.
Oh, okay.
Tuesday, maybe.
Yeah.
Tuesday, we deadlifted and then did this.
Yeah, Tuesday. It was only 2 days ago. But uh, but anyways, that's the that's a little bit okay. So for me, right, I'm a naturally lazy person.
Okay, whatever
it's
that means.
Naturally lazy meaning
Who doesn't enjoy being comfortable?
but in a different manner of like like things don't bother me like almost at all. So like the ability to let a can sit on a table, an empty can that should be able to be thrown into the garbage can sit on a table for me. Like it just won't bother me that it's sitting there.
Okay.
Right. So it kind of goes in a couple of different places, like having a place, and then also like the lazy nature of like I'll let washed laundry go unfolded for a couple of days before folding it.
Okay.
Like that sort of like
I always joke
I
that
always call that
CrossFitters that
laziness.
worked out
Laziness.
a lot were like outside of the gym, like CrossFit Games athletes.
Yeah.
Just work out all the time.
Yeah.
They're the laziest people outside the gym because
Right.
it's like all your energy is expended in the gym.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I personally really, really like Tuesday's workout as like a reminder that, and it will help. It helped last night because I'm using the empty cans as a very specific reason and purpose because last night I saw 4 of my empty Aldi seltzers. Aldi sponsor this podcast. It's the best seltzer in the world. It's incredible. Don't buy any other seltzer than this can of plain seltzer. I promise you. Get every single one, line them up, taste them. They're the best in the world. But there was 4 empty ones, sort of randomly, like one by my bed, one on my dresser, one in the bathroom. And I was like, you know what? What am I doing? I should throw these cans away. Mm-hmm. So I threw it. And Julianne's charitable enough to me to not say, hey, clean up those cans, you slob. So threw them away. But in the midst of that workout, I went, do I want to be lazy? I already made it to the 21. Like I only had, like I'm already like in this place
there's
of like
choice.
Pseudo.
You come to a point and there's a choice. You have a fork in the road.
There's a fork in the road.
Yeah.
And these workouts are always way more beneficial for me outside of this space than necessarily inside of this space. Even though like I want to be good at CrossFit and go to.
But you're saying it translates over more disciplinary wise, like in your life outside of this.
Way more. Like way more.
I would agree. People ask me, I got asked just the other day, like what still motivates me to do this, and I'm like, that's one of the things that motivates me. It's like the desire to be comfortable, you can come in here and you can squash that.
Yeah.
And then it just bleeds over into everything. It's like when
Right.
you wake up in the morning and the first thing you do is the three things that you wanted to do the night before but were too tired to do. And then you get on this roll and then you just build momentum.
Mm-hmm.
And then if you build the momentum, it's like you got a few things done in the morning, then you go to work and you're like productive at work.
Yeah.
And then you roll it out of work and you go to the gym and then you're productive at gym and then you go home and then you're a good husband, father, parent,
Yes.
whatever. You
Yes.
know what I mean? Like you're just a better person in general.
Totally.
And then you wake up the next day and you repeat the process. You'd be surprised at how far you can get in a month.
Yes.
Like you can be a different person. And those are just little choices. Those are like the smallest choices throughout the day. Smallest choices in the workout. Like you can back off the bike on the last round that
Right.
you know you need to push on.
That was going to be my question, is like those movements that you picked for this death by. We haven't had one like this in a little while. Maybe like 6 weeks, 8 weeks.
Sure, where it's just pure no skill go
Yeah.
kind of thing.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And
I like the skill component of CrossFit. And I
yes.
like the fact that if you can teach your athletes to have the skills and be able to apply them into like a fitness based workout, like you would might call something like this more fitnessy, like where
Yeah.
it's just
Yep.
running, rowing, burpees, whatever. But if you can take a skill and apply that into your fitness workout, you're going to be a way better CrossFitter.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like if there's muscle ups in the workout and you know five sets of five is gonna crush you, and you're not going to be able to get through it, and your heart rate's going to come down, and you're going to essentially rest during those 5 reps. Cut down the reps so that you can do 1 or 2 and get on it, and then stay moving and move on to the next thing. It's the perfect way to introduce skill into your workouts.
Right.
It's like at very small doses. It doesn't have to be a ton of it.
Right.
It can build over time, but that's why I like the skill in the workouts. But you're right, we haven't done one like this in a little while.
Why did you pick biking instead of rowing?
The pull. I wanted to interfere less.
I was gonna say
The bike's just
you've
good.
been doing a lot of interference recent. I felt like we've been doing a lot of interference.
That's one of the topics here that we definitely I covered on Patreon here just like last week was putting movements together.
You should explain that to everyone.
Yeah. All right. We will go there. Let's see what page it's on. Movement interference. I posted about it. I think the workout was just like the one we did the other day where it was burpees, chest to bar muscle up. The movements all stack onto each other. So like you do a set of 15 burpees hard over the bar. And then you go to your pull-up bar and you do 10 chest to bar pull-ups and you notice that, oh wow, my core shot from the 15 burpees right into the 10 chest to bar, and then after your 10 chest to bar, you go into 5 bar muscle-ups. And that's that's scalable, right? Anybody can do 15 burpees. Anybody can go over to the pull-up bar and they can do 10 pull-ups, and maybe they do 5 chest to bar pull-ups,
Mhm.
right? Or they can do 10 jumping pull-ups into 5 regular pull-ups.
Mhm.
And it's like you can scale this up for any athlete. So as a
Mhm.
coach, you need to know how to scale those for your athletes appropriately. But as the writer of the workout, I wrote that workout for the the fittest of the fit. Like I send that workout to Laura and Gabby and Christoph, and
Right.
those guys try to smash each other in that workout, and it's really hard. Like it's grippy, it's challenging. They're sprinting back and forth. The intensity's through the roof, and it's a good challenge for them. You know, so
Yes.
they get the same workout as everybody in the gym here gets the same workout as I did the same workout with Jesse the other day. You know, but the movements stack onto each other, so it's a good way to test your proficiency with something like a chest to bar or something like a bar muscle up. You tend to have it be like the third movement or something, and then the first 2 movements kind of interfere and add up so that you can practice the third movement.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's a little bit of rest, and then you can repeat that process, like you repeat that interval. And that's
Right.
probably the best way to do movement interference is with a little bit of rest so that you don't just completely blow up. But it's maybe the second or the third movement after something that's building, like you might do maybe just getting tougher as you go and ending on the muscle ups. Like I think it was a burpee, can't remember what burpee toe to bar muscle up was the workout that I was talking about on the Patreon page that day. But they kind of built up over time, and you're working on the muscle up, something like that.
Right.
Or it was run, burpee, ring muscle up. They just add up. Like the run adds up. The run gets the heart rate up. The burpees, add in of the press portion of the ring
double
muscle
press.
up.
The press back. The double press is always shockingly hard, or you hit muscle failure so fast.
Yeah.
Right. But I was thinking about the interference part for the workout of the week that we're talking about, the death by, because the row kettlebell swing push up seems like it might have crossed your mind. And I was like, and midway through the workout, I was like, what? I wonder why he didn't do that. It it's not, it's in his nature to do that, but maybe you just wanted to bike that day or
I've been
something.
in a biking mood lately, and I go
Yeah, there
through
you go.
kicks, and I've been biking more. So I don't know that it was that thought out. That it was
Okay.
too thought out there. But the bike worked well. The row might have blown people up a little quicker. Other than that, I didn't consider it too much. I was really in the biking mood.
Do you think that this workout of the week segment with the death by,
Mm.
in the death by workout, I thoroughly enjoyed it. Uh, Second reason that I really enjoyed it, other than what we've already talked about, is the new board you posted.
Yeah,
New old
it was
board.
Caroline's idea. It was a really good idea.
Uh,
Found
you
it in
posted. Yeah.
storage.
Where'd you find
It
it?
was in from the old gym.
Yes.
Yeah,
Well, I know
we
what
used to have it on the
yeah.
wall, and it's just a board of all the girl workouts or the girl workouts,
Girl workouts. Yeah.
and now you can get a judge, have someone judge you, and you can get your name on the board if you have the best top 5 time in the gym, just to facilitate a little bit of competition.
That's what I was uh, internalizing while I was doing this Death by workout. I was imagining that I was doing one of the girl workouts to sort of get my name up on the board,
Mm-hmm.
and like we used to. And then I started thinking, man, this is actually really, really good prep for everyone that hasn't ever done those workouts.
Mm-hmm.
There's probably half of the gym, maybe more than half of the gym, probably doesn't even know what the girl workouts are or done them.
We do them often. We do them enough. We do them enough, and we will start doing them more now that the board's up there. We do a lot of spin-offs of them. A lot of
Right?
times,
Yeah, that's true.
but we haven't done. We haven't done. When did we do one last? Probably Helen. Probably the most recent one. We've done Kelly recently. Nancy, we've done recently. We do them. They're sprinkled in there. They're sprinkled in there. You want me to look them up? Go
I
ahead,
believe
pick
you.
one. I'm
No,
gonna go
I
and be on the
believe you.
whiteboard.
I believe you. I believe you.
No, we talked about this the other day. Fran, 9 months ago. You don't want to repeat Fran twice.
No,
in a
I know
year.
you don't want to. Yes, no.
All right,
Never.
no. Give me one.
But
Here we go. Ready?
Diane.
Diane.
Yeah.
Oops. Velcro. 1N. 9 months ago.
Karen.
That one you might win. 9 months ago. We had a girl month where we did a couple of them.
Annie.
Nancy. 2 years ago. Oh, that's crazy. Annie. 4 months ago.
Remember that one? That one is such an interesting workout to do now.
Fran, 10 months ago.
Annie.
What else you got? Fran.
Helen.
Christine, 9 months ago. Helen, I don't know that we've done it in a while. 2 years.
Yeah.
It's been a while.
But point being.
Yeah. We should repeat them more often.
I guess it was something like the Death by workout that we did this week. I sort of have stored in my mind as like something that trained you and taught you how to do CrossFit. It was a really good what's a good word? I don't know, marker.
It's a really good test. Yeah, for sure.
Good test, and sort of allowed you to tell others, right, what you're doing, and you would explain the workout, and you would sound like a crazy person. Like, what are you doing? I'm doing CrossFit. And it's like, well, what does that mean?
I'm gonna do one burpee 1 minute, and then
right.
2 burpees next minute,
Yeah.
and then go as far as I can.
Right.
Or something. Yeah.
And that sort of introduction into, I don't know, this thing, it just seemed like it was a really good introduction to what this is. But
sure, yeah, it's a great warm up, easy to start, but it builds up into this crazy hard workout by the end.
Yeah,
it's fun. I don't know, I like it.
And maybe I had like a little bit of a soft spot from being from starting in 2013, where it's like, no, that thing injures everyone and is unsafe.
The CrossFit thing?
Yeah,
that's funny. Yeah, that's such a big thing. It's so wrong. All right, so I did want to say that the 2024 Open is over. Thank goodness.
Hey,
They said that I got the email, so I copied and pasted the email. They said there were 343,500 athletes.
Yep.
I thought that was great.
That's dope.
That's awesome.
That's
I do
more
think
than I
that's
thought.
up. I do think that's way up from the year before and the year before. Someone might have to check me on that.
Oh, I
but
believe it.
I think it's up. Said there's over 10,000 CrossFit gyms around the world. Thought that was pretty cool. But that's a good number of people. The Open was really like, I used the word inclusive. I told them, I was like, yeah, I was saying to people, it seemed very inclusive. It seemed like they were just trying to make it so that everybody can
people
play.
here or
No,
like
just like in general. Like,
okay.
you could take the workout and go do it anywhere.
Yep.
First two at least. The third one was tough. The third one rushed everyone, which was cool because you're moving into quarterfinals.
You're right.
And you don't want people going to quarterfinals that shouldn't be in quarterfinals. So you have to have one challenging one. So from our gym, I tweeted this yesterday because Georgie gave me all the stats. She keeps me up to date with the stats because she's a statistician.
Okay.
We were 14th in the North American East in our registrations. So we had 165 people registered for the Open.
Okay.
I wish we got more, but we had 165 people. Then I'm going to call Georgie out. I don't even know if Georgie signed up. I had to. Love you, George. And then 92 of the 165 that we had qualified for quarterfinals.
That's incredible.
So they're taking the top 25%. So if we had 56% of our gym that did the Open qualified for quarterfinals, I thought that was pretty cool. And like Lindsay finished first in the world in the last workout, or second in the world in the last workout. I think it was second. And she's like, all I do is the workout and in the fit class. It's like, it works.
I've been paying attention. I know what you've been freaking doing, Lindsay. Been watching you.
Yeah,
she's
been killing it.
She's sneaky.
Yeah,
but
I thought that was pretty cool. There were some other stats from other gyms, percentage wise, of how many people signed up versus how many people qualified, and it was pretty cool that we had a higher percentage of people qualify for that than all the other top gyms, you might say. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, that's a huge. Well, that's a huge testament to.
Yeah, I thought it was cool. It was a little brag, but
yeah.
I just figured I'd share.
Oh, totally.
It's not something that I even knew about before Georgie told me, but it was cool to be able to look at that, have markers and be able to look at that stuff. And you can measure it against next year, as a gym.
Anyone that's watching that goes to the gym, comment or send Ben an email or comment on the YouTube video or whatever it is, or talk to us about whether or not that was your goal or not, because they moved it from 10% to 25%, and you wanted to do your best at this new sort of mile marker to get to quarterfinals.
Yeah, they opened it up a bit more for more people.
Did you come in with different motivation? Did you come in with a different attitude? Whatever it was, Jared called me last night and was like, "Hey, you guys should talk about this," which is what you just talked about without me telling you. Jared called me to tell you to talk about it, and it was these numbers, people making quarterfinals, the fact that he was stoked to make quarterfinals. I had the best time judging his last workout, watching him execute sort of just with precision the best way to get to the second round of bar muscle ups for him.
Yeah, that's cool.
It was awesome. They sold out. Fully sold out. Dark place. I could,
Yeah.
And
everybody went there.
There's so many people that I felt like that was the case for.
Yeah, and the opposite argument to this was, okay, CrossFit's doing it. We all know why they're doing it. It's a money grab. Trying to make more money.
Dude, I went on a huge rant about this at the coffee shop to Tyler,
and it's true, yeah, right? But it's okay because it's optional.
I have a rebuttal to everyone. Okay. I have a rebuttal to the world right now, and I hope this gets clipped, and I hope every CrossFitter in the entire world sees it. How many or how valuable is this thing to you?
The CrossFit.
How valuable is CrossFit to you?
Yeah.
What are you willing to? How much are you willing to participate in the legacy and or the name or the brand of CrossFit? Is your next question. The next question you ask yourself is, what is everybody else's main domain of fitness worth to them? And when we look out across the horizon at everyone else that's doing fitness, let's call it, we see, we'll take runners as an example. We went, me, Julianne, myself, our kids went down to Virginia Beach on Sunday to cheer on Emily, who was running the half marathon. One of our baristas was running the half marathon.
A lot of people did.
A bunch of people we knew ran the half marathon. So we get down there, we're leaving the half marathon, and I was like, there's probably 10,000 people down here.
Yeah.
Those 10,000 people, right, all spent $100+ to go run this race.
Yeah.
They could have ran for free, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's one race, $100+. One memory, one moment, one little crappy bag, souvenir, beer tickets, the runner's medal. Like, I don't really know running culture. However, it's huge. It's massive. I mean, it started Nike. Nike was a running company for the longest time. And that's just a race. How many races do people run in a year on average that are serious about running culture? Let's say minimum 3.
Sure.
That's $300. They're buying a couple of sets of shoes, whatever it is. It's a very real monetary investment.
Yeah, like you're invested in something.
Yeah.
Like whatever your fitness is. If you
Right.
haven't invested in fitness at all, you're invested in some sort of fitness. Peloton,
What
running shoes,
the cost, the monetary
participate in
cost
the
to
open.
participate in the community that you love is $20, and it's too much for you.
That's perfect. That's great.
Is crazy to me. And then it's like, how dare they expand this to 25% and charge me $50? And it's like, this thing isn't worth $70 to you?
Yeah. And you don't have to do it. Like, you don't have to do the quarterfinals.
Bro.
Right.
$70?
Yeah. It's true. It's true. It's just reframing it. Yeah, it's very true.
Come on now. You spent more than $70 this month on coffee.
Coffee not at Texas Street.
Not at my coffee. Yeah. But you get what I'm saying.
Yeah, no, it's great. It's a great point.
I was just like, this is just
because you see a lot of the arguments that it's just about
it's just a money grab.
And it is, and it's true. But
sure.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Dave said that too.
That's the easiest way. It's the easiest way to fund what we want to be funded. Like the whole thing, like right now, like you want to go like really talk about the sort of general narrative that's going on in public. Is like, I wish this group of people spent the money that they got from me properly. Well, if we want CrossFit to be great, maybe you should contribute your $50 to help it be great. Like, it's so simple.
Yeah.
Or am I missing anything?
No, we all really did harp on it for a long time. We did. I don't know. It's a good start. It seems like this year was a good start. Back into the right direction.
Yeah.
Positive.
Oh yeah.
It's positive. I'm starting to feel more and more positive about things moving forward.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. So where do you want to go next? The Open's done. Quarterfinals are next. What to expect in quarterfinals?
That's
I wrote a little post on that. Not a lot, but I just wrote a few notes. Like CrossFit.com shared the workout of the day yesterday was 30 rope climbs for time. When was the last time you did 30 rope climbs for time? Haven't done it in a while, I will say.
I've never done 30 rope climbs for time.
You've never done 30 rope climbs for time?
No. I've done 30 rope climbs in a workout. I've just never done it for time.
So one of the movements that they like to do is rope climbs in the quarterfinals.
In quarterfinals, yep.
It's hard for the gym because not a lot of people have the 15-foot ceiling. But again, like we're talking about, it's like make it work.
Yeah.
We like CrossFit. We're gonna try to make it work.
Yep.
That's one of the movements that you can come to expect. So we've been practicing our rope climbs the last few weeks, right? Yes. And I've been saying, oh, maybe CrossFit's coming back to hinting at the CrossFit.com as to what you should expect in quarterfinals because it's about a month away, right?
Yeah.
3 good training weeks away.
Yep.
You should be practicing rope climbs. Yep. They're going to come up. And that's like the regular athletes that come into the gym.
Yep.
Practicing rope climbs. They're coming. There's going to be a max lift or 3.
Yeah.
Like they're all going to come together and you're going to have to know that one bleeds into the other. So like you're not going to get your max weight. You're not going to hit a PR on your third third movement, and you have to be careful enough that you don't screw up your second lift on the second movement. You know what I mean? Like they did last year. They did, whatever it was, a clean bench overhead squat, something like that, or whatever order it was. Like there was some skill in the overhead squat, and you miss an overhead squat. It's like that's risky. It'll give you a certain amount of time. I thought it was pretty cool, man. But they're gonna do something like that again. Come to expect handstand push-ups.
100%.
Probably at a deficit this year. I'm just assuming. I don't know everything.
Well, they did the kipping strict and then wall facing. I think was the
I think they'll
progression
change
last
it up.
year.
I know. I think they'll change it up, and they'll do some sort of deficit this year.
Okay.
Some sort of deficit. I don't know what it'll be. I said I don't know. I don't know what the workouts are, by the way. And the only reason I posted that on my Instagram last week was because CrossFit leaked it on their YouTube page. So
Yeah.
CrossFit posted it. So it wasn't me coming up with the workout. I had no insider information.
No.
Anyways, CrossFit posted it on the YouTube page just for the internet.
The internet didn't already know that?
No, a lot of people didn't.
What?
It's funny. Anyways, handstand push-ups, probably from a deficit. There's some handstand walking in there. You're going to see some workouts that have some interference in there. Like the dumbbell push press into a handstand push-up.
Yeah, right.
Where you end with 10 handstand push-ups and everybody's like,
that.
those are the hardest 10 handstand push-ups I've ever done in my
That's
life.
one of my favorite
Yeah.
interference workouts that CrossFit's ever done.
Yeah, it was really cool. Like where you just like, they're like, all right, 10 strict handstand push-ups at the end of the workout. Yeah. And people were like crumbling doing singles. Dude. Like you did back in 2009 when you first started doing handstand push-ups. Right. Really cool. It's good to get back to that and test people, just like the 24.3 did.
Yes.
Just crush people on the last 5 rounds who weren't ready for it. Which is cool. That's what they should do. That's being innovative. Like that's being on the cutting edge of being creative in your tests. They don't have to be complicated. That was a really simple test.
Yeah.
But it crushed people because it was well planned out. That's all. You're gonna see something like that for sure. Probably gonna see some high volume deadlifts, I would assume.
Why?
They love some sort of like Diane combination or something like that with maybe 225 into 315. So they'll start light so everybody can participate and then they'll crush everybody. Like
GHDs, you're gonna see. That's GHDs. Right. They said that GHD rowing B-up workout was last year's quarterfinals.
I'm terrified of GHDs right now. They're in my head, playing a mental game with me.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I feel like I wonder if I wonder if it's in a workout in a competition like one off.
Yeah, maybe
like it'll just be
my body gets through it. I don't know.
Yeah, you just.
Competition has done that to me in the past.
Right.
Kind of kicks me back into gear. We'll see. GHDs for sure. Pistols, maybe.
Yeah, I really hope we just remove pistols from competition. Like, I don't mind them as an exercise. I don't mind them for class workouts, anything like that. They just seem. Do you disagree that it's a strange?
It's a strange movement for sure.
It's a strange movement for.
But it was one of my favorite movements when I started doing CrossFit. It was one of I loved it. Right?
Wait,
and I loved it because.
What is it just? Yeah.
Oh, why? Because there was like a strength component to it. Yeah. There was a balance component to it. Yeah. And practicing them lately, and I've been throwing them into the class warm-ups where we'll warm up all our squat stuff, and it's before the lifting class on Saturday. I will make them do they'll be on their back and they'll roll their feet back over their head and they'll roll up, and you roll up into a pistol.
Okay.
So you roll up and you stand up on one leg. The goal would be to roll up, pause in the bottom, and then stand. Yeah. It's actually been really working on my mobility, like really improving my mobility.
That's good.
Helping my hip, helping my knees. It's been helpful, like in small doses.
Yeah.
Now, like 150 pistols, that'll just crush me. But
right,
there's definitely a reason why they do them. Functionality wise, I don't know.
Hate them.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe a big step up a big step. You're gonna have to do a single leg box step up or something. Yeah, I'm reaching, but yeah, I don't know. They used to be one of my favorite movements. I really liked them. Yeah. I still do. I just don't do them.
Yeah, the high box jump snatch work or clean and jerk workout last year.
Yeah, the heavy one.
Yeah,
heavy workout. Sorry. Yeah, something like that will come up where you're gonna have to lift a heavy weight under fatigue. That was cool. I like that. I like that test.
That was a good workout.
Yeah, it was really hard. Really hard.
And the year before that, they did the same thing but with snatches. It was 185 snatches and
the 30, 20, 10.
And the same box jumps. But
yeah.
So something like that.
Yeah. So those are some things that you could expect. Definitely more skills at a high heart rate.
What do you do what do you personally do? How would you prepare? Like other than so the movements are coming.
Yeah, you know what's coming.
Is there a so the movements coming? The best way to um is the best way to prepare for this to just go and do those workouts?
The past ones,
Yeah.
mm, maybe, maybe not. Like maybe I've been for the people that I program for, I've been giving them an occasional retest at things that they were bad at in the past, so they can see the improvement and build confidence going into the
Okay.
quarter.
Yeah.
So like, there's a use for it. So
Yeah.
it's good in that sense that you can retest it and see like, oh, I have really improved in this area.
Right.
It's obviously not going to be the same test, and it's going to test you probably in a harder way, which you'll have to adapt to again the next year. But it's still good to see that you're progressing, and the goal is to just progress faster than the field. If you're an athlete,
Right.
you just want to be on.
Right.
You just want to be ahead of the field. You don't want to be, you want to do your best at that. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to sit down and write up a little bit about uh, peaking for something like that,
Yeah.
like what the month looks like beforehand,
Yeah.
and then I'm going to write out like tapering for a competition.
Yeah.
Like everybody always asks me those two questions, and I got those two questions in the chat and Patreon. So I don't have an answer right now, but I'm going to write those up and post them over the next few days. So next week we can revisit on the next podcast when we talk about that specific question.
Because there could be a group of people that are like me,
Mm-hmm.
where this is the last hoorah for my season.
Yeah, right.
And after going through the first part of the season,
It's a big bottleneck after this point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And not finishing, like I did so bad in the Open this year.
Still made top 25.
And but I don't know why, like silly reasons. Like I didn't redo the first workout. And I would have had to if I wanted if the 10%, like I think I finished at like 89 or like 90% in the world, and I would have had to redo it because I got like 40,000th or something on the first workout. And so this whole time I've been thinking I'm going to eat so well, and I'm going to train so hard the next 4 weeks because I cannot stand losing.
Yeah, or not doing your best, and it takes you to another level when you're training. You come
Yeah.
in here with a little bit more of intention.
Yeah, like
Your mindset's different.
the
Yeah, yeah.
workout of the week, like that
Yeah,
workout.
that workout was great.
Like
you pushed hard. You could tell.
as
It looked like
yeah.
you in an open workout.
Yeah.
And it's like I don't see that JB often.
No.
But I saw it on Tuesday,
I
which
don't
was
do
cool.
that.
It was good. I
But
like seeing it.
do you like games athletes won't do that though? They or what will they peak for there? Or is it just like this is just
No, it's a good test. It's a good test.
okay
It's not that it doesn't matter.
to see where you're
Man,
where
people
you're
keep
at?
saying, yeah, he keep hearing the games athletes saying that the open doesn't matter.
Yeah.
The open. I've even said that before, right? That
I'm trying to
it's like
steel man all of
the
those.
language is wrong. It's
Right.
not that it doesn't matter. Like
Right.
it's obvious that
it's
it
not
matters.
what it was.
Yeah,
that's for sure.
Yeah,
it used to be your biggest, potentially your biggest test or your hardest test. I don't know if you would agree with this, but it's
some of them, yeah.
Like
Oh my gosh, for sure. I remember workouts where they were like, I ended up doing like 200 plus overhead squats at 95 pounds and chest to bar pull-ups in the span of like 21 minutes.
Yeah.
I was down for like a week and a half after
Right.
that. It's like, yeah, they're some of the hardest workouts that I've ever done. I've pushed myself to places that I've never pushed myself to since then.
So the open,
and it's like they don't do that because it doesn't matter.
Right.
Like you just say that that's stupid.
Right.
It's like it matters for sure, but it's more to you. It matters to you.
What about so it feels like everybody's saying to if you're
it's just that you're gonna move on to the next stage. So it's like maybe it's like I don't dump all of my chips into that one hand. You're like I'm gonna spread out my chips here so that I can safely make it into the next round or whatever it might be. I don't know. Maybe it's not safety.
There's
but maybe
probably very very few people redoing open workouts that are regionals or games athletes.
I couldn't redo the last one. I did the workout. I couldn't redo it on Monday. I was still limping. Right. It's like it's just the way that it goes.
It was hard. The so is quarterfinals now.
They matter more and more as the field gets better. and I matter meaning like if you're at the game's level, you have to pay attention more and more, like harder and harder, because you don't want to slip up to cost you moving into the next phase,
Yeah,
because
because
the
it
field's
could
getting
you
better.
could
Yeah,
miss it.
like at the games, it's more and more competitive.
Right.
That just means that it'll trickle down into the quarterfinals being more and more competitive every year. Same with the Open.
Right.
Like I tanked that first workout. It's like you tank that first workout, you're not even in close to contention, you know. So I'm like
Right.
I'm knocked down already off the leaderboard, which
Right.
happens every other year. But yeah, that first workout gets me,
Yeah.
and
Dude,
yeah,
every
it's competitive.
freaking time.
It's competitive.
Um,
But yeah, it definitely matters. It definitely matters. It should matter. It should matter. People just say that doesn't matter because maybe that's not their focus.
yeah.
I'm not good at the Open,
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Like,
but I'm going to try my hardest.
right.
I'm still going to lay it out on the floor and do what I can.
It doesn't matter is a strange, yeah, strange language.
Yeah, I think it's just weird choice of language that everybody kind of heard and parroted.
Yeah.
Because it matters. So
Right.
um,
Well, I wanted, yeah. So, but I guess I'm asking personally, like,
I'm gonna give everything I got at the quarters.
yeah,
I need to if I want to feel like I can be in a qualifying spot to go to semifinals.
right.
If that's something that I don't know, it's up in the air for me. I don't know.
Bro, let's
So
go, dog. Go to semifinals. I'm trying to go.
yeah, I got to perform at quarterfinals. We'll see. We'll see. So I've been training. Like the open. The open, I feel like did motivate me personally. The open motivated me. It's cool. I feel good. Like I feel good. I've
Yeah.
came in and trained on an off day that I normally don't train in, just and with crappy sleep and all that. And I feel like I wanted to. There's not a lot of days where you come in and you like really want to get after it. I had to hold myself back a little bit, but that's good because it's just you're motivated. Some days you're just motivated.
You still
Some
been
days you're not.
pretty rigorous on your nutrition. You still been
I'm very 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 consistent with that.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't. I eat the same number of foods, however many it is, and they're all. I rarely cheat.
Let me hear it again.
I mean, I can go through it. I actually wrote it out on Patreon if people want to look at it, so they can go there.
Yeah.
I took a long time to wrote out.
You still been juicing? Ginger.
I do.
Have you still been drinking the juice?
I wrote all that in there. That was a funny.
My bad. My bad.
Funny question. That was I wrote that in there too. So I do the same thing every morning. Ginger, beetroot, turmeric.
Ginger, beetroot. Oh, you're on the beetroot too?
Yeah.
Dude,
Ginger,
I've been supplementing beetroot
every morning.
Yeah.
Vitamin C pack and then that thing every morning. Same thing.
Yeah.
It's like I just do the same habit.
Beetroot, sea moss.
Oh yeah, that purple sea moss.
Dude, don't sleep on the sea moss, y'all.
Sorry,
whatever,
you ruined
bro.
it that one day with that story. I'll tell it someday.
Oh my gosh.
I'll tell it another day. It'll come up again. Don't worry.
What do you eat for breakfast again?
Right now it's avocado, egg, and like corn tortillas with salsa. Mix it together.
What about lunch? You've been eating at home a lot. We haven't been going out to lunch at all.
Yeah, you're right. We haven't. Rice, vegetables, meaning like spinach or like this mixed vegetable I get from the store. It's actually really easy to like saute real quick and then throw rice in and then throw beef in or throw chicken in.
Just ground beef and chicken.
Yeah, and then scoop of hummus, a little bit of vinaigrette dressing, like olive oil. Olive oil vinaigrette. Salt. Perfect bar. Something like that.
Dinner? You still drink protein shakes?
No. No protein shakes, no supplements. I take creatine in the morning.
Yeah.
Vitamins, like take vitamin D.
Mm-hmm.
Again, all this stuff's in there. Dinner is whatever no one makes, which is usually the same thing as I have for lunch. And sometimes I'll repeat my lunch meal if I'm hungry before dinner or later on. And then I like those sourdough pretzels, and I will sit down and I will eat a half a bag of sourdough pretzels at night.
Nice.
But I don't know. I like that.
Good.
That's my go-to.
All right.
But yeah, I'm pretty consistent with it, and I feel really good when I'm consistent with it. And when I go off of it, like I feel a difference. I feel a significant difference.
Yeah.
So like you said, hey, I'm motivated to change up my diet.
Yeah.
It's like that because you feel the difference that it makes.
Oh yeah, dude, I've been eating so poorly recently. Yeah. I was just like,
I can't do it anymore. I can't afford it. Like I'll feel my body feels it. Like I wake up in the morning and I'm just like, you just feel like stuck to your bed.
Yeah.
You just feel like groggy.
Yep.
You just feel better. But yeah, no, that's been my diet. It's pretty good. Pretty consistent. You want to answer questions?
Yeah.
You do Q&A?
Yeah.
So there's the other question that I wanted to go over. Well, one here on the chat, they were talking about, do you guys include a lot of zone 2 training in your training regime?
Have you ever worn a heart rate monitor when you worked out?
Yeah, I did it for a little while, for a few months. And
Did it benefit you at all?
It's the same thing. I've worn a Whoop for a few months, and it's like I started telling the Whoop how I felt. It was like I wake up in the morning and tell the Whoop how I felt, open up the app, and it's like, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
What are you telling me that I don't already know?
Right.
It's like I don't need the statistics of exactly where my heart rate is in a workout.
Yeah.
You know, I've tracked it for a while. I know this is my number where I go beyond this and I start falling apart. You know, for different movements, like
Right.
there's certain movements, and then you get the hang of it, and you know where what that feels like, and I'm good at matching up what that feels like to how I should hold a pace. I don't know. It's just
I
one
imagine
of
it's
those
like
things you
a
just know over
like a
time.
running or biking thing. Like if you're
Maybe to like push you to a different level, like it's a game.
Yeah,
I
like
used
you
to play
know,
the game,
right.
like let's see how high I can get my heart rate.
Right.
Like, and that's a game, so it gives you an external focus on something different other than how you feel.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, I'm playing this game. Let me try to get my heart rate up for this interval for this extended period of time. So like that's
Right.
probably what it is for those guys. Like it's just gamifying it.
Yeah.
Which is like that's how life works. Like that's how things work. That's how your
Right.
dopamine system works.
Right.
It's gamifying it. Like
Yeah.
everything. It
Yeah.
just reinforces things that you perceive as good or whatever, fun. They make you happy. Like it just prioritizes those things and then builds those systems over time. That's the way that your body works, like physiologically.
Right.
So,
I mean,
do I do a lot of zone 2?
I no, I would say so. Here's the
I
thing.
like to do zone 2 of the barbell, but yeah.
And even that is like, yeah, that's you got it.
No, I don't do zone. I don't. I run long, slow once a week, and most of that is just recovery. You know, zone 2 is like a recovery type thing. I think it's a kind of a silly idea, actually. Okay,
It's silly. I think it's silly here. Like I think it's silly in CrossFit.
yeah, maybe we can unpack it a bit more.
Yeah.
So it's silly in CrossFit because CrossFit is always talking about intensity and how intensity drives results.
Correct.
We know this to be true.
Yes.
You can gain more from doing a Tabata than you can from just jogging easy for 20 minutes over the course of time. That person will be fitter in CrossFit's definition of CrossFit's definition of fitness. So you have to be careful when you say that or whatever.
Yeah.
But like there's also like in the running realm, good athletes spend 15% of their time at these threshold and above paces. They don't spend a lot of time there. All of their training is just base level zone 2, zone 3, whatever training. Like it's low, slow.
Yeah.
Right? That's most of their training.
Right.
As a games athlete, it's not. I don't think that that's necessarily the case. Maybe it is for your heart rate. Like maybe your heart rate might be lower in those zones. But effort wise, it's different. It's like you're pushing to muscle failure in different components each day. It's not like it's so you can be in zone 2, like your heart rate can be 120 to 140 or whatever that is, and you can be lifting a barbell. That's what I like to do. So I'll do like a clean and jerk or squat clean or touch and go ELOM or something where I'm working for 30 minutes with just a barbell and my heart rate is 115 to 140.
Yeah.
And I'm just lifting every so often, right? And I'm just going back and forth, and that's how I get my zone 2.
Right.
You know, and I also do that with running sometimes once a week, you know, and there's some workouts where like the other day I did one, today I did something like it where it just kind of like built up, and it was over the course of time, my heart rate was like, let's say average 120 to 140, but there are peaks and valleys, right? So on average, I'm about zone 2.
So that was where I was going to go is averaging out. Like when I think about, like some of my, or I call it the whiteboard test. When you walk in, you look at the whiteboard and you either know you're about to smash or you're like, it's like, well, it's either you're about to smash, you're about to get crushed, or it's hidden from you that this thing is about to steal your lunch money.
Those are the fun ones.
Those that one is like, but the zone 2 thing in my mind is when you start your workout, if you immediately get into zone 3, zone 4, zone 5, the beginning of your workout, something's wrong. something's way it's way wrong.
Yeah, or your workout's 2 minutes long.
Yeah, or it's 2 minutes of double unders, something like that.
Yeah, yeah.
But the like I'm always thinking, how do I slow smooth, smooth fast? We're usually going against the clock, and if my heart rate can stay in zone two and I still finish fastest, did I do what I needed to do? Yeah, like I accomplished what I wanted to accomplish, and I think the whole thing that you're trying to do in CrossFit is to not have some movement in your triplet
That hangs you up.
that takes you from zone two to
Yeah.
zone four for no reason.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't have to take you to that place.
Yeah. I mean,
If you're thinking that way, then yeah, stay in zone two, or whatever it is. But if it's like just if it's a hard set, I'm not going to, uh, I don't know, integrate any type of movement that takes me out of that zone, or I'm only going to do zone two training in this workout. I don't,
do I program it for the gym? No.
yeah, I don't see that
No.
that's ever shown up here.
Uh-uh. So maybe average zone two, but
Yeah.
it's like you're still peaking in and out of it. I find that intervals are way more effective than the zone two stuff. The
It's-
zone two stuff can be good for people to like build discipline and build some sort of aerobic base so that they can start cranking up the intensity. But you know you're not going to get the real results until you start cranking up the intensity.
Yeah.
Like you can make a lot of progress up to a certain point
Right.
with the zone two stuff, and then you'll plateau.
Right.
So, you know, in CrossFit Games athletes or whatever, they just seem to be all about it. You know, all about the zone two stuff. And I'm like, there's definitely some value to it, but when I do a lot of it, I feel worse. I'd rather do a 10-minute hard interval workout. That's just me.
Yeah. I wonder why. Whoever asked, I wonder why.
Yeah, curious. So if they comment in the comment section, please ask, or yeah, please comment. Okay, so let's. Do you want to do questions from Patreon?
Yes.
All right, cool. Jamie Harmon. Well, let's do the first one. Let's do Trevor first because Jamie commented, piggybacked on Trevor's comment. So
All
Trevor
right.
said, "Would love to hear y'all unpack a little more on the quote building to a heavy single approach towards the compound and Olympic lifts.
Oh yeah.
Some questions to help with the discussion. One, can you walk us through what a session practically looks like when you do this? Two, how has this evolved for you over the years? Three, how would you suggest applying this for athletes today, specifically those who can improve most in this area relative to the field?" It kind of ties into the zone two thing, right?
I almost think it flows right into it.
Yeah, kind of flows into the zone two. So, um, it's definitely changed for me over time. But I'm looking back and I'm logging these old workouts,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like Bill do heavy single at this, Bill do heavy single at this, and I would do 5 different lifts, and it was snatch, power clean, front squat, jerk, deadlift. You know, and it was just build a heavy single, build a heavy single, build a heavy single.
Yeah.
One, because I was new to it and I needed to find where I was. Like I needed to find benchmarks. Like I needed some footing to stand on to know, hey, this is where I'm at for
Yes.
this lift. This is where I'm at for this lift. And I averaged it out over the course of a few days, right? Like if I hit, 150 one day, 170 the next day, 130 the next day, I'm like, all right, I'm at 150.
Right.
And I can touch 170 occasionally or whatever.
Right.
But here's my average about daily max, right? But I like doing that just because I spend the time and the effort at the lighter sets building your way up. So you're trying to make them look the same as you build up. Watch a good Olympic weightlifter, watch a good power lifter. The reps look the same as they work their way up. They don't get slower. They actually might get faster, right? And their technique might improve as they go, as they get heavier. It's not degrading as they get heavier in weight. The technique is getting better and better.
Right.
So build to a heavy single is a really easy way to get the skill work in as you're building your way up. That's where you practice and you spend attention to detail. And you can actually change mechanics at a later weight. You can't change mechanics at a heavier weight. The heavier weights are like your tests.
Yeah.
You jump into the heavyweight and you test your technique that you practice at the lighter weights. So as you're building up 95, 135, 185, 225, those are the lighter weights that you can make small adjustments with, that you can feel your balance shift, that you can say, okay, I jumped from 220 to 225 from 185. And I'm like, man, I felt really pulled forward. This next jump that I'm going to make, or I'm going to do it again, I'm going to really try to make sure I stay back. And you can make that adjustment at 225. But when you get to 315, you can't make that adjustment.
Right.
So you practice at the lighter weights and get your reps in there, right? And then if you feel that you're able to, You
Yeah.
test yourself
Right.
for the day.
Right.
You build up to a single. You take 1, 2, 3, 10 attempts at it, whatever you want to do, however stubborn you want to be.
Yeah.
And then if it went well, you can keep progressing up. And if not, then you fall back at like a 70, 80% range and you just do a few sets to clean up your technique and then you move on for the day.
Mm-hmm.
15 minutes
Yeah.
tops once you're warm.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be a lot of time. You can do a rep on the minute and you just build your way up slowly and you keep consistently adding weight. And then when you get to a point where you really need to focus, get off the clock and then just hit a couple good heavy lifts and then move on. But use the heavy lifts as a test. Use the lighter lifts as I'm practicing for the test. That makes sense?
Yes.
So, can you walk us through what a session practically looks like? Lately, it's been okay, I do 10 minutes of an EMOM where I do 1 to 2 reps on the minute at 185.
Yeah.
Lightweight.
Yeah.
Just practicing technique, cleaning it up, pretending in my head I got 315 on the bar.
Yep.
And then after that, I'm warm, I'm ready to go. 33 now. I need to do those reps to warm up. And I'm primed. I'm like feeling good. If I start getting to the point where I start getting tired at 6, 7, 8 minutes, I stop. That's it. And then I move on and I build to a heavy single. And the build to a heavy single might look like I go 185 for that barbell, and then it might be 225, 255, 285, 305, 335 if it's a clean and
Right.
jerk or something.
Right.
It's like 5 reps.
Right.
I do 5 reps in the course of 7 minutes, and I'm done. That's it. If I'm really stubborn, I might take 2 attempts at the heavy weights.
Mm-hmm.
But that I've noticed has gotten me so much better and so much more practice than if you said, all right, do 3 sets of 3 or 5 sets of 3 or whatever at 80, 85%. It's like, I'm going to hurt something because I'm not focused. I lose my focus when I'm in those sets, and it's easier to focus on 1 rep. And if you're Olympic lifting, what do you need to do? 1 rep, right? That's where you're going to get better. And then sometimes the game shifts where CrossFit has you do some touch and go reps, but like you've dabbled in those as well. So like I'll dabble in some touch and go here or there. That's one day what I work on. But
yeah,
for the most part, singles are the way to build strength. Powerlifters are going to tell you how do they get stronger. You lift heavy singles.
Dude,
Olympic weightlifters lift heavy singles.
It's over and over again. Like,
Yeah.
And if you don't
stop doing percentage work,
yeah.
you don't need to do percentage work. I only put it in my programming for people to have like some sort of references to grab onto, to latch onto.
Yeah.
I don't like putting the percentages up there.
Right.
I want to say, hey, it should feel like this, and then they should kind of work their way into it. But nobody knows how to do that.
Yeah.
So,
unless you've been doing this.
Unless you've been doing this forever.
Unless
you've been building to a heavy single.
Unless you've been building to a heavy single, you're definitely not going to be there. And what do you think about this addition to it of squatting heavy? Meaning you're going to build the most percentage wise onto your lift from just squatting rather than volume lifting.
Your squat is like your horsepower in a car, right? You got a race car that doesn't have any horsepower. Like you're not going to win, right? But if you have, and you can also have a car with a ton of horsepower that has real low, like real horrible drag, and you're slow as crap. Like or the wheels are wobbly or something, or like the mobility's not there, So you can have both sides of the coin, but you want to have the highest potential by raising your squat up. If you raise your squat up, it's an accessory movement in the Olympic lifts for the Olympic lifts. Like for Olympic lifters, the squat is an accessory movement.
Yes.
And they do it to try to maximize the amount of force that their legs can put through the floor so that they can clean and jerk and snatch the most weight.
Right.
So squat more, and it'll translate, especially in CrossFit, it'll translate to your thrusters, it'll translate to your squat snatches, all the stuff.
Everything.
Yeah.
Like I guarantee you, for instance, when I wanted to snatch 225, I decided that I was going to work up to a heavy single every day until I hit it. It took me 34 days. I worked up. One day I hit 185. Next day 205. Missed 215 a bunch of times. Hit 220. Missed 225 20 times. I mean, one day, like 20 days in, I remember I got to 225 and I would have it overhead every time and I'd lose it. Every time. And then the next day sucked or whatever it was. But I did that once. But I like playing with things like that.
Yeah.
But what you don't know, before I did that session, I got as strong as I possibly could squatting wise. So I went through a whole Smolov squat cycle and built my legs to a place that they had never been before.
Yeah.
And then was like, oh, I'm going to try this goal. And eventually I got there. And then now it's like, I should always be able to hit it.
Yeah.
But that's deathbed snatch. You should hit that. And that's not like a percentage wise, like that's not a 1 rep, but it is always going to be Like that's gonna be a good heavy single for me for forever.
Mhm.
You know, like
Yeah, and having that daily max is helpful. Then when you come into a competition, no matter how tired you are, and they have a one
right,
rep max, you got 3 minutes after the workout, you're like, all right, this is my goal,
dude. I
225.
know I'm gonna hit
If
it.
I get more,
Yes,
great. But I
right.
know my floor is 225.
Yes, especially the competitive side. If you
If you
have that
compete,
in
yeah,
your bag,
yeah,
like, and you know, like, what
you
are you going to
need to
step
have
up
it.
to and
You
hit it? You
need to have
have
it.
to have that in your bag
Yeah.
if you want to be good at this
And I
thing
don't know that a lot
competitively.
of people do this. I don't know that a
Yeah,
lot of people test up near their one rep often. I did it all the time. Like if I'm not doing it
yeah,
consistently, like every week, once in a snatch and a clean jerk and a squat,
yeah.
I don't progress.
Really
Like I
matters.
have to have these
I
heavy
was telling
singles.
Haley that 2 days ago, we were in the lobby and I was like, Haley, you crushed the open. I was like, I can't wait for the time where like you graduate high school and you get to just Olympic lift for 6 months or 8 months or something. Like you just like your addiction to CrossFit and just breathing heavy, like we're always talking about, like
Mhm.
can just take a little bit of a back seat. She could
Mhm.
be great. Like if she gets uber strong, like if she can really get strong, she'd be great.
Yeah, and there's a lot of athletes that are like that where they're really good in one area, but they're
Yeah,
unwilling to sacrifice a little bit of that area that
right.
they're strong at
Just for a small
to
chunk of
build up
time
another.
too, though.
Yeah.
Like it's not even like it wouldn't cost you that much to do that
Yeah.
at 18.
People
Like
forget that you have to yeah, people forget that you have to do that, but the building strength takes a long time, so you should start at 18.
right. It,
You might as well start building the strength now because the engine's easier to build. The strength
right.
is
You
hard.
already got it. You're
Yeah.
already skillful. You already got the pieces of this that most people will never have.
Yeah.
However, you don't do this. You can't sacrifice that part for being, for workouts giving you a hard time
Yeah.
for 6 months. You're gonna have a hard time.
Yeah. So spend time working on strength, spend time working up to a heavy single. Um, EMOM's a really good way to do it, just a rep or two, practicing at lighter weights and then build your way up after that. Kind of like pop out and go.
You loved working up to a heavy single, then right into an EMOM too. So like
Yeah, either
you
way
can go
works.
back.
Either way
You can go
works.
both
Because
ways.
a lot of times I write workouts based off of the lift that you do previously.
Yeah.
So like you would do squat cleans, clean and jerks, and then you go into a thruster workout.
Hmm.
So like the movement flows really nicely right into the workout, and
Hmm.
it's almost like it's accessory work for your strength work. That's
Yeah.
the way I perceive my training all the time. I never really thought about it until I started thinking about it and like writing it
Right.
down. But I'm
Right.
like, yeah, it was more strength based. Gymnastics is strength based.
Hmm.
Weightlifting strength based. CrossFit workouts are strength based. Like if you have a limiter that's strength, it's like don't work on anything else other than the strength. Like Haley Adams, strength work. Like what you need to do, and if
Boom.
you really want to do it, like that's what you spend your time doing. Like you got to sacrifice the other stuff if you want to improve in that area. So
Right.
it just is what it is.
Right. You there's yeah. I don't have
Okay, and then this
anything else on
Jamie
that.
Harmon's question. There are often suggestions on pulling back on volume / typical class metcons in order to get stronger. Thoughts? And then more generally, how do you suggest athletes put enough focus on getting stronger?
Yeah,
Funny how we
wow.
just
I
blended
had
right
no
into that
idea. I
question.
didn't
I
read that.
didn't. Yeah, I didn't even know that that was the question. But okay,
There you go.
yeah, you need to do it, but your workouts can be accessory work for your strength work.
Right.
That's what I've always done. That's what I've always done. Those are my thoughts on that. I think. Do you have anything to add?
Nope. We laid out the blueprints right there.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
you want it. Is
And I'm gonna
the
keep adding onto this. So you know, there's some spots left on the Patreon page that I will keep adding to.
I don't know why you wouldn't want to get stronger. Like that's the thing. Like I or here you go, Jamie. This is what I would say.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to win the first workout of the open, or do you want to win the third out workout of the open? And if your answer is the first one, then you don't care about getting stronger, and that's cool. And just live there, be great there,
Mm-hmm.
and just know that you're gonna have a very 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 hard time when things that are heavy show up.
Mm-hmm.
But you win third workout,
Mm-hmm.
there's a really really good chance that if you spend 10 days something like that before the open next year doing burpees or whatever it is, you're gonna do well.
Yeah, you'll be prepared.
You'll
Like
be prepared for
it's
the
like
first
riding a
one.
bike. It'll
Yeah,
come right back to you.
just boom,
Yeah,
real quick.
yeah.
But you can't go the other
I
way. Like
have
you
this
can't
conversation.
summon strength.
Right. No, I have this conversation with people that I program with.
Yeah.
Like we'll talk about this. I'm like, look, where you can pick up the most right now is in this domain.
Hmm.
Here's what I'm going to program for you in this domain. And it's like, yeah, we're kind of lacking the more fitnessy side of the workouts, right? And
Right.
it's like, yeah, well, we can't do those things and get stronger at the exact same time
Right.
with the right amount. Like you want to really get stronger, not just like you can incrementally get stronger as well as maintain your fitness.
Totally.
But if your goal is to do it as fast as possible,
Right.
you're gonna have to forfeit some of the fitness stuff to get
Yeah.
the strength. But you can also combine the two in a way that's helpful. That you're breathing hard while you're getting the strength work in, which is what I like to do.
Yeah, it's the best.
It's the best. Cool. Well, those are the questions we had. If you guys have other questions, please leave them in the comments. We'll talk about them next week. We didn't cover much of the things that I had here, but we can cover some of them next week, and then we'll have a whole nother set of stuff that we can talk about after I've shared it online. So, anything else?
No, I can't wait for, dude.
I hope
It's
this
gonna
is.
be
I hope this is
electric.
helpful. I hope this is helpful.
I think this is going to be super helpful. Anybody that people need to take advantage of it. One, two, the electricity that is about to enter this place during quarterfinals is going to be sweet.
It's gonna be fun.
It's going to be really fun, bro. 56% of the gym made it.
Yeah, I wonder how many of them will do it.
Dude, that's I think
I would encourage them to do it because even if it crushes you, it just shows you have now a benchmark where you are, and it's like just leave the ego
yeah,
aside.
you get to
You
set
got the
aside.
benchmark,
Yeah,
especially if you're new and you made it. Like especially
yeah,
if you're like only CrossFit for a year or two and you made it. Like see what you can do.
yes,
See what you can do. I encourage you like to go run the half marathon.
right.
Go sign up and do it. It's what, $50?
$50.
Yeah, it's $50. All right, guys. Thanks. Have a good one. See you guys next week. Next Thursday, we'll be back.
Philippians 2:14.